This is the earliest known movie of Sketchpad. This was done in the summer of '62. Now notice he did something that we all are familiar with, but now he's pointing to all these edges and he's telling Sketchpad to make them all mutually perpendicular, and Sketchpad figures out how to do it. And the reason is that Sketchpad is not just one of the first graphics systems, but it was the first non-procedural programming system. That might be disputed, but let me go on with it. Here again, he's making a couple lines. He's saying, make them parallel and perpendicular, and Sketchpad straightens them up. Now he's using a constraint called collinearity, and the little dashes are aligning themselves right over the guidelines there. Okay, and now he's telling the guidelines to be invisible, and he's made his hole through the flange. You notice that Sketchpad is the first system to have a window, as far as I know. In fact, it drew on a very large virtual canvas. Now he wants to make a rivet, and once again, he only has to indicate the general topology and the rules that will constrain the topology into being what he wants. That's going to be the center of an arc. Now notice this clever thing, that if he makes these mutually perpendicular, that will force the, well, you see what I mean. There it is. And now if he distorts it, it will still obey that general geometry. Now he could have constrained the ratios of the sides just as well and kept the rivet a specific shape. In this case, what he's done is constrained the angle relationships and center relationships, so we always get a symmetric rivet. Now Sketchpad is also, I believe, the first true object-oriented programming system, because what we see here is actually a dynamic instance of that master drawing that was just done. He called them masters. Nowadays we call them classes because of Simula. So you notice you can take that instance and twirl it around and make it different sizes, and he's going to stick it into the hole in the flange here. And one of the reasons we can tell how early this is because in this whole film there's no illustration of visible constraints. And that was a second phase of the implementation of Sketchpad. Here's a few more. Now you might ask, why is the screen blinking? Well, the TX2 here is putting up every dot by brute force. So he's gone back to the master and he says, well, I really don't want to see those guidelines. I'll make them invisible. And notice all of the instances feel them dynamically. And anything that you can construct in Sketchpad can itself be a master. So he's taken these two building blocks, the flange and the rivet, made it into a master, and now he can create instances from it. Well, if this isn't home cooking, I don't know what is. Let's show the second segment. Now what this system is a system called Grail, done at Rand Corporation. Here's an early menu. And this is the system. This has sound on it.
Erase a flow arrow, then move the connector out of the way so that we may draw a box in its place.
So it recognizes the box and makes one. Now it's recognizing his printing here.
The printing in the box is being used as commentary only in this case. The box is slightly too large, so we may change its size.
That's where Mac window control came from.
Then draw a flow from the connector to the box. Attach a decision element to the box and draw a flow from it to scan. We then erase the flow arrows attached to the process post new area and move the box to a new position. This allows us to draw a new box. Then chop off its corner and label it subscan. with a residual error.
Now notice it misses the N here, and he sees it, but
Drawing flow,
he can keep on going. Now he goes, changes it.
correct the label, add a decision on subscan so that control may flow to the connector A0, then complete the diagram from scan to post.
Now here's the world's first painting program done by, I designed it in the spring of '72, and Steve Purcell, that most amazing person, did this while he was, I think he was a sophomore at Stanford at this time. And I'm not sure he'd ever written a program before in his life. I never asked anybody that I hired whether they'd programmed or not, because I usually didn't want to know. And the other thing you notice is that the control here is being done by a character recognizer, and that was done by none other than John Schock. So most of the things that Mac Paint can do, this system did. So we see the different brushes, and you can make up your custom brush shapes right there. Space War practically drove Smalltalk into existence. We wanted Space War to be half a page, and here's some early animation from, I think, around August, done on the old character generator. And around this time, we moved into our playpen downstairs across the street at what used to be the Singer Building. This piece is called The Happy Hacker. There's the organ that's playing the piece.
This is an excerpt from a movie we made about computer music. The star, Rachel, has played piano since she was 5 years old.
So it's being captured. She's played in an accompaniment. Now she's going to play along with the accompaniment. Now this is sort of our idea of what a convivial tool really means. I didn't know how to talk about all the stuff we did at Park. There are many years of work afterwards. And in fact, I didn't know how to really talk about the Dynabook of the future. I still think that, as with Bush's original vision, if somebody just sat down and implemented what Bush had wanted in 1945 and didn't try and add any extra features, we would like it today. I think the same thing is true about what we wanted for the Dynabook. If we only had what we wanted then in one machine, we would like it today. Now, of course, that doesn't mean that the Dynabook covered everything. One of the things that I didn't anticipate was what networks really do to you. And that is they change the whole environment that you're in. They don't just hook environments together.